In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own pricing matrix file. Along the top, you're going to see columns with either a red background or a white background. The red background columns are required fields. The white background are optional fields. When you're creating a pricing matrix, the first thing we need to do is always put in your state and province. So in my example, I'm going to put in Ohio. The next thing you can do is specify even more on the service address. So again, the requirement is the state or province. If you choose, you can also break that down into county, city, zip, or distance. If you want to do that, these now, the county, city, and zip are comma separated values. So for instance, if we were doing cities, we could type in one county here. If it's a shared price across multiple cities, we could do just, again, the comma separated list. Now, the one thing about the county, city, zip, and distance is you can only pick one. So out of these four columns, if you choose to do them at all, you can only pick one. So you can't do county and city or county and zip, or you have to pick one. Now, if you're doing distance-based, these are going to be a little bit different. So you have the option of ranges or single values. So my first range could be 0 to 20 miles. And then my second range could be 21 to 30. Or I could have it be 31 miles plus, or 31 miles, 32 miles, etc. So again, these are optional. You can decide which ones of the service-based, service-addressed ones you use. For this example, I'll just pick distance, and I'll do 0 to 20 miles. The next column here is materials. This is an optional value. These are going to be the materials that you can set up for each dumpster size in Docket. So these are defined by you. And then these, again, are either single item or they can be comma separated as well. So if I don't care what material it is, just leave it blank. If I do care, I can do C and D, and then maybe also dirt are the same price. So C and D and dirt are the price. But moving on, we'll go to the size column next. The size column is required. So let's say we're setting this up for a 10-yard dumpster. The size is a 10. The next column is category. This is also a required field. So we can put 10 yard. Now this is supposed to match the category listed on your assets. But typically the size is also the precursor. So 10, 10 yard, 20, 20 yard, etc. The next column we have here is rental length. Now this is optional as well. You leave it blank. It just means, hey, it doesn't matter how long they keep it, 7 days, 10 days, etc. It's the same price. But if we want to specify a specific rental length, we'll put like 7 for 7 days. The next field is client type. These are going to be kind of like materials where they're defined by you and Docket, and then you can set up your pricing based on client types. And some examples of this would be maybe residential, commercial, or roofers, or however you have it set up. You can, again, put that client type in there, and then when the client type matches, that price will be used. The next field here is weight allowance in tons. So let's just say this 10-yarder for 7 days, we give 2 tons included in the price. So that's all we're doing here. If it's 0, you can leave it blank or put 0, but the weight allowance number we want to put there. The next field is client cost. Now this one is required. This is going to be the total cost for the rental. So if I'm doing a 10-day for 7 days, or sorry, a 10-yard for 7 days, and I say that's $300, I'll just put a $300 amount in there. Let's scooch these over. The next section here is the cost per ton over. So again, this is optional. You can leave it blank. But if you do charge maybe $50 per ton, once they go over that 2-ton allowance, we can put that number in there. And then same thing for the cost per day over. Because we said this was a 7-day rental in this example, and we want to charge maybe $25 a day if they keep it for over 7 days, we can put that value there. And then the next two columns here are for delivery fees and fuel surcharges. So you can do this one of two ways. You can leave it blank if you don't want any of these fees applied. If you want to show a delivery fee on your invoicing and your pricing, we can put in, say, a $50 delivery fee. And the same thing goes for fuel surcharges, but I'm just going to talk about delivery fees here. So you can put an amount in here, and then your clients will see $300 and then another line item for a $50 delivery fee. Now, if you want to kind of hide that delivery fee and not show it to your customers, you can just come over here and change your price to $350. And then we can either put that to 0 or just remove it completely. So those are your options. Delivery fees and fuel surcharges, they work the same way. But let's go over to the next column, which is dump location. So the dump location is optional as well. It's going to match to your dump locations that you've entered in Docket. So if you want, when they pick up from a certain location, typically this is used on a county-based location, but if you want to make sure the dump location is assigned to that pickup task, you can type in the dump location name here as it appears in Docket. If you leave it blank, then the standard way that it'll operate in Docket, when you schedule, it just picks the closest or the assigned or maybe the unassigned option. That'll work the same way. The next three fields here are for expenses. So labor, material, and equipment costs. So if you want to track your profitability numbers in Docket, you can do that through here. Now, obviously, this doesn't include your expenses for at the dump. So it's really kind of recommended not to use this and just use the dump expenses from the weight ticket that you get when you do the final pickup. But these are options here. So these are just dollar amounts if you want to start applying these to each one of your prices as well. Then the next column here is taxable. So this is going to be simply done by, if it is a taxable line item, that we're either put in yes or no. If you leave it blank, it is defaulted to yes, it is taxable. And then the last required item here is name. So this is going to be the name of the line item that's shown on the invoice. And if you are also a QuickBooks integration, if you're using QuickBooks integration with us, this is also going to be the product name. So the product name listed in QuickBooks needs to be the name on your invoices here. But typically for this one, we're doing a 10-yarder. I'll just type in 10-yard dumpster. And then the last and final column here is for description. So if you leave this blank, we will fill in the values from your materials, your weight allowance, items like that. If you want to have something specific, you can type it in here. So if you want maybe to say something other than what we do by default, like I just want to say 7-day rental, we can just click and add that in here. So now we've created our first price for our company for Ohio, a distance from 0 to 20, and then the materials listed here. So And in Docket is where, when you are using the distance-based ones, that you set that starting address from. So by default, it uses your business address, but if you want to change it to a specific address, you can do that as well. But let's say we want to do this for maybe a different distance out. So we can just copy that whole row and then maybe say 21 to 30 miles out. Same size, same category, same weight, but we're going farther, so we're charging $450 now for that. So that's how you change the price. So every row you have in your pricing matrix file is going to be a price that can be pulled and set to each one of your services. Now, let's say we want to do a whole nother dumpster size. So we can simply copy all those and we'll set this one up as a 20-yarder. And then we'll just scroll to the right. And change the name that shows on our invoices. And that's it. So you'll go through here, you'll go through all the locations you want to go to, whether it's county, city, zip, or distance-based, or just leave it at real simple. Hey, I just charge one price for the state I'm in. Go through all your materials if you want to go, if you even use materials or track materials or change your price based on materials. Same with rental length. You go through all these prices. You'll then take this file. You're going to go click on File. If you're a Google Sheets user, hit Download. But the important part here is we want to generate a comma-separated values file, a CSV file. You're going to create that file, and then you'll go into Docket, and you'll upload that in your settings. And once you upload into your settings, anyone who creates any tasking in Docket, once they put the service address in and then the different variations that we need, maybe it's materials or size or rental length, we're going to generate that price and automatically put that in as a price quote and then generate and create invoices off it if you choose. And then if you're a Docket Shop customer as well, all those prices will automatically be pulled and used on your website when people are checking out your products and services on your individual website. If you guys have any questions, let us know.